another story around incentives. So that's a great point. So what we talked about really is that organizational incentive. One of the things I find, which is great, but one of the key things I find valuable too is at the end of the day, what's in it for me? I mean, it's all good, I love my company, they pay my bills, but what's in it for me, right? So here's a classic story. Let's call her Betty from accounting, and this actually happened. So we rolled out SharePoint for this organization plus other tools, and the new process is all their projects are on SharePoint sites, and all project managers are using SharePoint. But one piece we didn't really look at and talk about because we weren't privy to is around project finances, certainly because we're contractors. So one of the things I found out accidentally, I was sending my invoice and I was talking to Betty from accounting, and she kind of, on the phone, she cussed. I go, what did I do? No, sorry, Dux, it's not you. It's that time of the month where I get about 100 spreadsheets from project managers for their expense reports. Everybody with me? And she was really, not mad, but just frustrated because she's been doing that for 3 years since she got that job. Every month she has to spend 2 days, get all these Excel spreadsheets, cobble it together for a report to the big guy. I said, how much time do you spend doing that, Betty? She said, you know what? Getting it together, validating, calling people if they haven't sent stuff in, making sure these numbers are right. 2 days. Realistic, yeah? So I go, Betty, what if I can give at least one of those 2 days back to you? She laughed. What, are you joking? I go, first of all, Dux, I know what you did here. You did this whole SharePoint thing, which I don't care for, sorry. So I'm not going to learn that. I go, no, I'm not even going to talk about that. You brought up the word SharePoint. So I go, let me come down to the office and see you tomorrow. She goes, okay, because I need to go there anyway. So I said, Betty, here's what we're going to do. So you're very good with Excel, right? Yeah, of course. Financial people, we live and breathe in Excel. That's all we do. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change the process up a bit. We're going to fire up this workbook. I said, we're going to fire up this spreadsheet. She goes, no, that's a workbook. Workbook? You got spreadsheets in workbook. So let's say each spreadsheet represents each of the projects. You go, okay, I get that, because I get 100 of these every month. And what we're going to do, since you already have project sites, we're going to talk to the PM, and they're going to love this too. They don't have to send Excel files in. Y'all with me? In that one project site, we're just going to create a thing called expense report, which in SharePoint terms is nothing but an expense custom list. It's a custom list, rows, columns, item, cost, whatever. Y'all with me? So we just told the PMO and said, look, from this day onwards, accounting would appreciate it if no Excel files were sent, but in their project, just populate it. Right? So Betty in accounting, on that workbook, each spreadsheet, at the bottom we say Project A, Project B, Project C. And we tied, or I did it, I showed her, I tied each spreadsheet to a list in one of the project sites. And you do that out of the box. You can do it in Excel 2003. I'm not talking about Excel services. It's just Excel and WSS if you wanted to, or SharePoint Foundation. You all following me? So after we went through that process, the idea now is project managers put their expenses on their project side on that expense list. It magically appears on Betty's Excel workbook. It's just there. She doesn't even care how it pops up. It just pops up. And then she can change it if numbers are wrong and stick it back to project sites. And the magical thing is she created like a summary sheet. You know how you can create summary sheets in Excel? Just pull all the data and her pivot tables and pivot charts just moving up the wazoo. A month later, she calls me back. She goes, Dux, in all honesty, in all sincerity, thank you. I go, why? You saved me a day and a half. I now only spend half a day. I mean, there's a learning curve, right? People forgot, but a month later, or no, actually a month, 2 months later, I only spent half a day just to validate the data. Is that something we can't help? People might fat finger and whatnot. But that whole clobbering, collecting all these Excel files in the last 3 years that I do every month, that pain point for me is gone. I have another day and a half to do whatever. So those are the kinds of incentives you want to think about.